Hello and welcome. Welcome to Quilt Conversations. Quilt Conversations Live. I'm Geraldine Wilkins, the Living Water Quilter, and I'm excited to be with you for another live conversation. We are going to take a little departure. You ladies on YouTube know that we're going to talk about baskets again. Normally, we're talking about quilting, but we have taken a departure, a DIY rope basket departure. We're going to talk about rope baskets. We did last week and we're doing it again. Hello, Copper. Hello, Lorraine. Marsha, you're out there. Hello, Benita. So glad that you're here. Awesome. How is everyone? Hello, Lois. It's good to be with you. We're going to talk about baskets. I'm going to just double check some of my social media here. We're going live both on Facebook, YouTube, and Amazon. So I'm going to say hello to everyone wherever you are. I'm glad you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Have you ever made a rope basket? Let us know in the chat. Have you made one on your home machine? I make rope baskets on my home machine, and I want to share with you part 2 of some of the things I do to level it up. I level up the rope basket making with different techniques, and I want to share some of those tips with you. So get your pen and paper ready. And if you are ready to actually get the supplies, join us on Amazon so you can see in the carousel all the supplies that I use to make rope baskets. Now, let's see, what else have I to share with you? I think that's it. The first one I want to share with you is, well, should I share a basket first or should I just do a quick run through on the basics? What would you ladies like? Like, we're using cotton rope, right? We're using cotton rope. I just highlighted that in the carousel for those who are watching, and I use this brand. Let me go to the overhead camera so you can see. This is the cotton rope I use. This is 100 feet. This is Scotty Cotton Clothesline. I use clothesline to do it. And I use a certain diameter of clothesline, and that is my diameter. I prefer this size over others. Now, again, it's personal preference. You can decide to get something fatter or thinner. It's up to you. But I have found success with this under the sewing machine. You know me, ladies. It's test, 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 test. So it's so good to be with you again. Did I miss anybody? There goes Sherry. Hello, Sherry from Colorado. So glad you're here. And there's Wilda. Wilda says, let's see the basket. All right, I'm going to show the basket. And Sally is here. Hello, Sally. Awesome. Ladies over there on YouTube. Good to be with you for another Friday evening date, Friday night date. Okay, so you've seen the rope. That's my basic rope that I start with. Okay, it's this rope here, and you can get it 200 feet or 100 feet. And for those that are on Amazon, it is on sale, 21% off for one, and the other one is 9% off. So there's a sale on both the 100 and the 200 feet of the Scotty. All right. So here is the biggest basket that I made. And let me tell you, hey, Sally, so glad you're here. Did I miss anyone tonight? Did I get everybody? Copper, Lorraine? Oh, there goes Cassie. I don't want to forget you, Cassie. So glad you're here. All right, I got everyone, I think. And those watching on Amazon, here is the biggest basket. You know, when you go down that road, the unknown road, you don't know how it's going to turn out, but you just keep going, right? And maybe you're using a GPS and it's saying recalculate, recalculate. Have you ever heard that? It's recalculating because you made a U-turn because you think you're going in the wrong direction. Sometimes when I sew or craft, or even when I make rope baskets like this one, I'm going to hold it up in a minute. You can see a little bit of it. I think, have I made a mistake? Do I need to recalculate? Do I need to stop in my tracks and rethink this? Or do I need to keep going? It's on the dead end road where you're buried. Oh, okay. Hey, Nick, how you doing? This is one of those cases where I ignored my instinct to stop. And I said, keep going, and just see what happens. You never know where you might end up. And this is where I ended up. Look at the size of this guy. This is a big basket. Look at this basket. Look how big it is. Oval. I love this basket. It's one of my favorites. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? It got so big. And again, wow. This is wonderful. I love this. Hold on, ladies. I need to do something. Not sure what you're talking about over there, Nick. It's not really about baskets. Maybe we can change the conversation. I'm going to do that. Whoa. Sorry about that, ladies. I was busy doing something else. Hold on. All right, here we go. Let's see. Needed something here. All right. Okay, here we go. So, this is the basket. It's huge, right? All right. A flying basket. It had wings. Let's get a close-up look at this basket. I'm going to the overhead camera so you can see some of the details. So look at that. It is the same rope that's highlighted in the carousel for those that are on Amazon. And remember, ladies, those on YouTube, the links to all of these are in the description box below. But this is the same rope, but I added something extra. Sometimes all we need is one extra thing to make something different. Remember, I've talked about that with free motion quilting. You just add one little extra thing and you get something different. And you have a whole new design. Same here. I've added one extra thing. All right. And this black portion of the basket is, it's Rattail Cord. Rattail Cord. Have you heard of it? I'm going to highlight it in the carousel for those are on Amazon. And you can get it in a lot of different colors. Now, I love to find things and use it for alternative purposes when I'm looking to do something a little bit different. This has a little bit of a sheen to it. Can you see that sheen? You love the black accent. Yes. Isn't that neat? I love this. Now, this black accent can be red. It can be orange. It can be green. What's your favorite color? Let us know in the chat. What color would you make a striped? This is a striped basket. What color would you add? This is Rattail Cord, and it comes in multiple colors. Those watching on Amazon, you see red in the carousel below, but you can get it in multiple colors. When you click on it, you'll see purple, yellow, green, all sorts, rainbows. This is black. Now, check out this little extra tip. You like the black accent. Sherry says she likes the black accent. See this section right here? See if I can get this on camera. I did a little bit of hand sewing right here. I pinched this corner. I pinched several corners here and here. Let me go back to the main camera. These are pinched corners. Just another technique to give the basket a different shape. This is one of my favorite baskets. And there goes my Kraft-tex right there. That's what I used for a label. I'll take that to, I'll show that to you on Amazon. I'll go to the overhead camera. So there is the Kraft-tex with my label on it. Love Kraft-tex. It just finishes it off. All right. So this is one technique, and I want to show you several baskets that I've made with this kind of stripe accent. It's a big basket. You're right. It is big. I have my mat here on the table. The base of it is 19 inches. It's 19 inches from the furthest dimension. And the width is, let's see, 11 inches. So 19 wide and it's 11 inches. So 19 this way and 11 inches this way. Yeah, long and wide. But I'm going to show you some other baskets using this same technique. Let's take a look here. So that's the basket. It's perfect. This one is perfect for sitting right by the sofa to hold onto your pillow and extra shawl. Hey, Nancy. What do you put in it? There you go. It's so big. What do you put in it? You can put it right by your sofa. Put a blanket or shawl or a pillow. Yep. It's perfect for putting books in right by your sofa that you're going to read, or magazines, just stuff that you want to grab and use while you're watching a movie, or you want to sit down by the fire, depending upon how your home is set up. That's just an example. So there is your answer. All right. Or you can fill it with all your crochet or needlework projects. You can just put the project that you're working on at the time inside this basket right next to your special chair where you do your crafting. It's up to you how you use it. It could be a bin for toys. If you have a little toddler, it's up to you. All right. So again, we are talking about I'm going to put this down. Making rope baskets. And the cord that I use and the accent that I use. The first one was Rattail Cord, but I also use Bonnie Craft Cord. Have you heard of Bonnie Craft Cord? I'm going to highlight some in the carousel. Again, it comes in multiple colors, and I want to show you an example of what that looks like. You've seen this last time as an example of an experiment. Remember, I always test. So here is, of course, the clothesline. And on the very end, that is the Bonnie's Craft Cord. And the craft cord comes in different thicknesses, and it's in millimeters. There's 2 millimeters, 3 millimeters, 4, 6, different thicknesses of craft cord. And this is a 2 millimeter. 2 millimeter. And that's just sitting right there in between with a zigzag stitch on top. It just adds a little extra dimension to the surface. Similar to the Rattail cord. The Rattail cord is a little bit thinner. Let's look at these two and compare the thickness of them. See the difference between the two? So when it was with the larger one with the large basket with the Rattail cord, this kind of melted in between the two, right? And this is sitting on top of the two rather than being buried, so to speak, in between the two. Two different effects based on the size of the cord. Which is easier to deal with? I think either one is fine. I would just use a smaller zigzag for this one and a larger zigzag for this. Smaller zigzag and a larger. You just have to test which zigzag works best. I definitely want to use a smaller one because I don't want this to come out. I want it to stay in place. Okay, so that's really up to you. But look at the different colors that you can get the craft cord. Rainbow of colors. Rainbow of colors. This one is purple. I don't know if you can see that there on camera. I don't see why it wouldn't be washable. Anything that I'm going to use that would come in contact with food or water, I would spray it with that Scotch Guard. Scotch Guard. That's what I would do, Sherry. That's a good question. So here are the three. I'll put this on the back. You can see the different colors here. This is the orange, pink, purple, and then the beige. The clothesline might shrink a little bit. Maybe because of the cotton, perhaps. And it depends on what kind of clothesline or cotton rope you're using. This one is cotton rope on the outside, but it has a poly core, a synthetic core. What do they call it? They call it a strong synthetic core. I'll highlight this again in the carousel. See there, it depends. Now, there are some that use 100% cotton rope. I use this one, and it's a little bit more resilient, I guess. It definitely needs a 100 needle. So Copper asks, so on the placemat, you wouldn't put the cords on both sides, but you put it on the side of the basket. That all depends. It's your choice. And that's why I want to show you some other ones. Sometimes I put the cord only on the inside of the basket, and sometimes I put it on the outside of the basket, and it's not on the inside. It's one of those things where you can have fun and be creative. It's up to you what you want to do. So let me show you another example so that you know what I'm talking about. So here is another basket set, and it's using this cord here. This is the Bonnie's Craft cord. It comes in multiple colors, and this one is orange. Okay? And I'm using a variegated thread, a brown thread. Let me show you that set in person. Here we go. Overhead camera. Clear off the table. Hey, Tasha, how are you? So glad you're here. You like it, Sally? This is actually one of my favorite sets. Look at that. Isn't it a beauty? The combination of the orange, of the variegated thread, I think it just sings. It just has this wonderful texture. I love this. I don't see why you couldn't make a rug. You just keep going. You can make it oval and just keep going and going and going and going, and you can make a floor mat. Why not? Try it. I'd love to see it. Here's the larger one. Again, finishing it off with the Kraft-tex. And see, Copper, you were asking, am I putting the cord on the outside? No cord on the outside. That's one of the conversations that I often have when I'm designing baskets. If you're filling it with something, are you going to see that beautiful texture on the inside? Probably not, right? So then as I walked down the journey of designing, I did this, and then the next thing I did was, how can I get the accent cord on the outside? How can I do that? And I'm going to show you an example. One example. Hello, Kathy. So glad you're here. Awesome. I'm glad you like it, Benita. I'm so glad. Wonderful. So pretty. Thank you, Wilda. So that's one of the discussions I have. So sometimes I take one thing. First, you learn how to make a basket with clothesline, cotton rope. And you practice that technique, how to start, how to finish, learning different finishing techniques. I have a lot of different finishing techniques because I try something, it doesn't work. I think of something else, then I try it, and then I amend that. Then I say, okay, how can I make the basket a little bit different? Can I add a second cord? And what kind of cord can I add? So I started looking at different cords, not necessarily craft cords, any cord, any cord. So I just looked in my sewing space to see what I had, and I had some Bonnie craft cord. So I tried it. Once I tried it, then I said, what are the different ways that I can combine these two cords together? So it's a process. It's a process. And sometimes some of you, I know, you don't want to figure out the process. You don't want to go through it. So who does it for you? Dina goes through the process of experimenting for hours and hours. And then she comes live and she says, hey, look what I found out after working hours and weeks to figure out how to do this. Yes, Sherry. I've given you another thing to add to your DIY list. Can't keep up with quilting, and now I'm introducing you ladies to basket making. I love it, and I haven't made a basket in months, but I will again. I will. I'll make time sometime soon, I hope. So this is one of my favorites. Okay, let's go back. Did I have another photo here? No, I didn't. Let me give you an example of another cord. This cord is something I found in your home center. You go into your home center, you go where you see cords and ropes, and you see all kinds of ropes there and cords, and you figure, okay, which one can I sew? Which one will be friendly to a sewing machine needle? And you experiment. But as you know, with this process, we are doing a zigzag to put the second cord in place. Lois says she's glad that I experiment for you. I'm so glad. Uh, so this one I want to show you is another type of cord that has some variations. In the photo, it is purple. But it comes, of course, in many colors, so you can choose whatever color you want. And this was maybe one of the first or second ones I did in the experiment. And this is the cord. I'll show you in the overhead camera. It is a fun cord. It's not made for crafting. It's not made for crafting. See the variations in that? It's a beautiful cord, and it's thin enough for a needle to go through it. It's pliable, but I didn't stitch through it this time. I stitched over it and attached it to 2 pieces of clothesline. Okay? So Sherry says paracord would be fun. Yeah, I think so. Here is a close-up of the cord. Now, again, this one didn't turn out so great. There's some portions where it got buried too deep. It's not really consistent, but that's okay. It has just an irregular shape. And I think because I skipped a step in the process, I wanted to see if I could reduce the number of steps. And this told me you can't if you want a consistent result. So here is this same cord, but in pink. Nice little variation. And then I did some accents with some extra zigzag in the rope. And now, do you see there's some more of the zigzag? See in the base? I'll show you in the back. That adds a little bit of interest in using simple cord, just going back and forth multiple times with your zigzag. And this time the cord is on the outside. You can see a little bit of it in the inside, but that was not purposeful. Remember, this was my experiment. And I wanted the cord to only, the second cord, the accent cord, I only wanted it to be on the outside. Yes, wouldn't you like to know what step I skipped? Ha! My little secret. It almost seems like I need to make a course on rope basket making. I'm piquing your interest. And then this was another finishing technique that I like, this nice rounded edge and some extra zigzags here to finish that off so it wouldn't come apart easily. And because I did this similar zigzag throughout the basket, you can see it. Whoa, okay, here we go. It doesn't look out of place by doing it right here. So, nice size rope basket. There we go. So you can see that it's not that uniform. It was a test basket. And the next one will be better. I like using the pink thread here. The pink thread was nice to go along with the pink rope. The pink accent cord. Hey, Jennifer, so glad you're watching. We are talking about rope baskets. All right, so I want to show you again an example. This is where the cord is the accent cord is on the inside. The accent cord is on the inside instead of the outside. Here, the accent cord is on the outside. So all I did was take the same clothesline and said I want to try something different by adding a second cord. And I am using my home machine. For those watching on Amazon, this was all done on my home machine. This one has the Bonnie Kraft cord. Bonnie Kraft cord. I'm going to go to the overhead camera so you can see that. Again with the variegated thread. And this was another technique of adding the cord. Doing it a little bit differently so that I had no cord in the center, but it started off a little bit later. Let's see. Which I also did in this one. Both of these have that same technique, but just different colors. So red on this one and orange on this one. Now, some cords are round and some are flat. So this one is a little bit flatter. It's not as round, but there are some that are flat that have a different look. So you want to look for that too. If you're going to start combining the rope cord with craft cord, this is round. This is a 2 millimeter. Have I found different color clothesline? I have not, but I have seen some ladies take the clothesline and dye it. That's actually next on my list of things to experiment, is to take the clothesline and dye it myself. And I thought the simplest way that I could start dyeing was to do a black tea dye. You know how you can dye things with tea? So that's what is on my list to experiment with, is to dye with tea. Oh, hi, Jennifer. You want to know how I did that? Jennifer, ladies, on YouTube. Jennifer is on Amazon, and she's asking, how did I do this? I used my home sewing machine, and I used clothesline and craft cord, Bonnie's craft cord, and I stitched this right on my home sewing machine. Isn't that fabulous? I love this. You can do it. This is DIY. This is part 2, Jennifer. Below this video on my page, you can see part 1 where I talk about how to start, and you see a little video of how it's stitched. Matter of fact, let me show that real quick. I'm going to do this for Jennifer, ladies. You've seen it, and those who maybe missed last week, maybe you didn't see this little video. This is showing, well, you would think it's showing me. I'm in the way. Let me move me out of the way. There it is. Me stitching. All right, that's the end result. Let me, all right, go back. Here we go. That is the sewing machine. It's doing the stitching on a regular home machine. I hope that helps. Hey, Kelly, how are you? Hey, Jennifer. Yes. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Ladies on YouTube, Jennifer's like, oh, my goodness. How is the learning curve? Sherry wants to know, how hard is it? Is that your question? It's not hard. It just takes, like anything, patience. The first thing is just to get some clothesline. Get some clothesline and just do a basic rope. I'm going to go to the overhead camera. The first thing you want to do is just get the clothesline, and you're going to use a zigzag, a 100 needle, cotton thread, and a wide zigzag. A zigzag that's going to be wide enough to catch both sides of the rope. Remember, I like to stitch this off a little bit with a straight line stitching before the zigzag. Then I start to curl. And you want to curl and feed the machine with the rope on the right side of the machine. If I'm sitting in front of my machine, this is under my needle, I'm going to put this on the right side. Jeans needle would work too. Yeah, jeans needle. And then you're going to, in the beginning, you have to stitch slow. So you're going to do a couple of zigzags, stop, rotate the cord. You have to lift your foot, rotate the cord, then do a zigzag right here. Then raise your foot, turn this cord, zigzag here, raise the foot, and turn it. In the beginning, it's going to be a little bit slow. Living Water Quilter. Living Water Quilter. I'm Living Water Quilter everywhere on all social media. And if you look at the follow button, click the follow button on Amazon Live. Right there, you can see underneath Living Water Quilter, you can go to my page on Amazon. So in the beginning, you go slow. And then you just keep going. And then as it gets bigger, you won't have to raise the foot. The feed dogs are going to automatically start moving it for you. Okay, you just keep going and you keep going. Zigzag. Just start that way and start small. Let me show you a small set. Remember, ladies, last week when I told you that I used this and it's 100 feet. How do I divide it? How do I measure it out? This one makes a big basket like the one you saw in the beginning. 50 feet. If I want 2 medium baskets, I make 2 100 feet balls. What you see on the screen is 4 baskets, each made with 25 feet. 25. So you get one of these, divide it into 4 equal parts. Start small. Okay? Awesome, Jennifer. I'm so glad you found it. Fantastic. And thank you for following on Amazon. Awesome. So you start small. I hope that answers your question, Sherry. And then once you do that, then you think about adding other things like fabric. We're going to look at a couple of those. We're going to wrap fabric around it. Matter of fact, why don't we move on to that? Here's one with fabric. And it's a tray. It's a tray. Simple tray. But it's the same concept. Instead of rounding after you go like this with the cord and you're stitching and you're stitching, you just keep stitching. At some point, when it's a big size like this, you just keep going and going and going, right? Then, overhead camera. This is at your machine and you're stitching and stitching and stitching. When you want to build a little wall, you just raise this up a little bit and the rope is going to start to go on the side. And you're going to create a wall when you hold it up as it's being fed through the machine. It's going to go, you're going to go just like that, and it's going to feed and you're going to get a little wall. And that's what happened here. I just turned it. You see this wall here? That's because at some point I said under the machine, I turned this and it kept feeding and it started to build the wall around the flat area of the basket. So that's how you do a tray. A tray means you just want a short wall. You don't want it to be too high to become a tall basket. All right. But look how I added the fabric. You can take this rope and remember, think about the different accents. A lot of ladies like to take this cotton clothesline rope and they will wrap the entire cord with fabric. I think you've seen that before. Sally just had a light bulb moment. What was that? So yes, Copper says she's only made a basket where she's wrapped the fabric around the cord. Okay. So Copper says, is that how you know when the basket ends? The basket ends when I run out of rope. So if I'm using a whole one, when I run out, it's finished. When it's 50 feet and I keep sewing, it's finished. You decide how big you want the flat end, the base to be. You decide how big this is. And you think, okay, you can even clip it. If you take a 25-foot section, you can put a little clip at the 13-foot mark and say, once I reach that, I'm going to start to build my wall. And then see what happens and see if you like it. If you find like, well, it's too short, I want it taller, then that means you want a smaller base. Or you get more rope. You use more than 25 feet. You use 30 feet or 40 feet. You're moving the basket to build the wall. Yes, couldn't figure out how you were making the walls. Awesome. Okay, yay, light bulb moment for Sally. Awesome. So on this one, you're adding the fabric as you're stitching. You're wrapping it around the cord. You're just taking it and you're wrapping it around. Let me go to the overhead camera. I didn't take out any fabric, but let's pretend this is fabric. And as this cord is going under the machine, say you've completed quite a bit of it, right? As you're going to wrap the fabric around, just like I'm doing here, a little at a time. For those of you who've made rope baskets with fabric before, you know what I'm talking about. You wrap just a small section and then you let that go underneath the needle. And then once you get to a certain point, then you continue wrapping. You wrap a little section at a time. You stitch it, then wrap some more. Stitch and wrap some more. Hopefully that makes sense. I did not put out any fabric to demo that. Maybe I'll make a little video and share it next time. Dina says, I'm noticing the ring on your left hand. Yes, Copper. And what are you noticing? What are you noticing? Thank you, Marsha. I'm glad you like the basket. All right, so let's go back to the fabric. So this is an example of where I experimented. I wanted to create this spiral of fabric going around the tray. But you could have fun and experiment, right? Here are some more baskets. I made a series that were all pretty much the same size, and they fit in this beautiful tree, this metal tree that you can put on display like a little buffet at home. You can fill it with fruit or anything you want, and all of those have fabric wraps. Fabric wraps as an accent. A little bit simpler, not as involved as the cords, the craft cords. And these apples, don't they look delicious? These are not real. These are not real, these baskets. This apple is perfect because it's fake. I just highlighted it in the carousel. I used it specifically for photography. Easy to always have the perfect apple. So Copper says it's easier to use batik fabric. No wrong side on the fabric. Exactly. This is batik fabric. Good eye, Copper. Let's go to the overhead camera. So here are my apples. Gorgeous apples. Don't they look great? How many times have you seen where some television or movie where someone picks up an apple when they walk in someone's home and they say, don't eat that. It's fake. So here are the batik fabric accents. So concentric circles. The first tray was a continuous spiral. So think about just small changes. She wants to know, what are those? Remember, small changes. These are beads, craft beads. These happen to be stone. I went into the jewelry department at my craft store, which you can get anywhere like Amazon or any craft store, and I got some beads that you would normally make into jewelry, and I hand stitched these beads on. Again, this is the same craft cord, with some fabric accents and some bead accents. So Tasha says that she's speechless that I've actually made this on my home machine. Yes, I have. And so can you. You can do it. Now, the benefit of using fabric or anything that you're wrapping around the cord, you're going to get that look on the outside as well as the inside. So I like that part, which it's a little bit different than when you are putting craft cord just on top of the clothesline. So I like that little extra, the beads. I like that part. Okay, so I am using my home machine. It is a Janome memory craft. And you just take it easy, nice and easy. Don't go too fast. Okay, what else do I want to show you now? Almost done. Showed you that. Okay, there's that one. And then here is another one. Don't those lemons look amazing? Aren't they perfect? Why do you think they're perfect? Why are those lemons perfect? Here is that basket in person with some perfect lemons. Sometimes you just need good looking fruit for photos, right? So these are my perfect lemons. You can get these too. I just highlight them on the carousel for those on Amazon. You can't eat them though. Hey Pamela, I'm so glad you're here. Oh, thank you, Copper. Appreciate that compliment. It is experimenting. You experiment, you try something, and then something else comes to mind. You think about some prior experience and you think, well, can I do that? Here's another example of where I use jewelry beads. These are wooden, and I combined it with fabric. Again, I'm using cord. Same cord. Now this is basket has a whole new look. A whole new look. Just by adding some beads. I put some on the outside and some on the inside. No fabric on the bottom. Remember that conversation I had about, once you start to fill something inside of a basket, you don't see the inside. And I thought, well, is it worth putting a lot of something that you're going to fill to the brim like this? I'm going to fill this to the brim with fruit or lemons or tomatoes or whatever, or who knows. You can't see the bottom, right? You can still see the bead accents and they're on the inside. Then I thought, well, maybe I should put some on the outside. Where is it going to be displayed? So I think about that too. Sometimes we don't want to put anything inside our baskets. We just want to look at the beauty of the basket. But that's something to consider. Another option. And I like to do random things with the fabric to get different effects. Sometimes I like things to be uniform, and other times I like a random look. I like to keep it fun. All right, let's see. Here is another example. Hello, Sabrina. So glad you're here. Awesome. Hi. Here is another example. The lemons are not real. They are fake. The lemons are fake. These are not real, but they're perfect for taking photos, right? Perfect for taking photos. Don't you think? Perfect for taking photos. So here's another example where I combined. Remember last week we talked about Kraft-tex, that craft paper, and how I use it in baskets. All these different techniques I'm mixing and matching. Once I experiment with the technique and I focus in on that and I learn the different ways I can use it, then I start to combine it with others. So the progression was to make a basket just with the cord, then add fabric, then find different ways of using the fabric with the cord, then adding a second cord. Can I make baskets with two different types of cord? But also, oh, thank you, Copper. I appreciate that compliment on the photography. That was my first profession. I was a photographer for a long, long time, over 20 years. I'm going to date myself and my age. So now I'm combining fabric with Kraft-tex. Fabric with Kraft-tex for a completely different look. Now, some of you ladies have already heard me talk about Kraft-tex. I love Kraft-tex. This is that paper product, remember, that just has that beautiful texture. You can die cut it like this heart. You can print on it. I printed on it. And this is what I put on the edge of my baskets, like this one. This one has a gray label with gray Kraft-tex. They call it stone. And this is natural. You can get the sampler pack and experiment with it. Yum, styrofoam lemons. Yes, they are delicious. And so I will run it through my printer, right? I know how many I can fit on 8.5 by 11. And then I just cut them out and they sit by my sewing machine, ready to finish off the edge of my baskets. Okay. So this is the Kraft-tex. And here is the difference between, well, maybe you can't see it very well on the black. Let me try this stone here. This is the stone where it was crumpled and crinkled. It has like a leather look. And then this is the natural that's smooth. It's smooth, so the printing is very nice, right on top of the smooth Kraft-tex. So if you haven't tried that, give that a try. It's really fun. Get the sample pack. And for the basket that you just saw, let me go back to it. This one here, where I added the Kraft-tex. I did a little center of natural, and you can make that shape whatever you want. It could have been a heart. It didn't have to be that oval shape. Then I take these little bits, these itty bitty bits, and I cut them into random shapes, at least in this instance. This is what's left over. Nothing gets wasted. And as I'm stitching the basket, I slowly feed one in, making sure that the needle catches it, that there's not going to be one little edge that's not stitched. And again, you have to practice, but I take these little pieces that are left over and I cut them and incorporate them in random places. And this is an example of that. But you can put any shape you want in the middle of the basket. Mixing and matching different techniques. Kraft-tex with fabric. Okay. And here's one of the last ones. This is kind of a look at what we're going to look at next week. There's a part 3. There's a part 3 to all of this. I decided, can I make a basket with 3 cords? With the clothesline, with Bonnie's craft cord, and with another type of rope. Dina, you are making this so very hard. I don't need another hobby. Yes, you do. You do. The thing is, sometimes, okay, let's be serious for a moment. Let's be serious for a moment, if we can. Why do you quilt? There are a lot of reasons why we quilt and sew. Some of it is for relaxation. Some of it is to fulfill a promise that you would make something for someone. It's for enjoyment. Sometimes when I work on a big project and I can't wait to be done, it's moved from I'm excited, I'm making it, it's happening, to I can't wait till this is done. Then when it's done, I want to do some sewing that's going to be my fun. Hey, Mike, thanks for following on Amazon. I want to do something different that's not going to take a lot of time, that's going to make a little thing for me that I'm going to like. I want to make a little tray to hold my clips in. I get my rope, my clothesline, and I make a basket. Just for fun. Now, I've shown you a lot of different baskets because it went from hobby to me selling my baskets at a local gallery shop here in town. and then it ended up going on Amazon. Oh, Penny. Oh, thank you. Hey, ladies, that is my sister. That's my sister. That's my big sister. Hello, Penny. I'm so glad you're watching. Awesome. And you got a chance to chat. Ladies, that is my sister. Please welcome my sister. She's up there in New York, and I miss her. I haven't seen her since before the pandemic. Anyway, for those of you who are saying you don't need another hobby, I'm not saying create it as a hobby. Get one. Divide it into 4 or 2 pieces, probably 4, and just make one little small basket. Do it for the fun, for the enjoyment. You don't have to become addicted to it like I am and make too many. You don't have to. But I enjoy. That's my relaxation. All right? Yay, Penny. Nice to meet you. Awesome. Yay. All right. So, did I cover everything? I think I did. I kind of snuck this basket in. This is another example. Check out the fabric in that one. Is that fun? Look at that technique. Let me go to the overhead camera. It seems kind of washed out to me. Look at that. That's a beauty. I love that. And again, I'm cutting the fabric a little bit differently. I'm using a pinked rotary blade. It's not a straight rotary blade, so that when I cut the batik fabrics, I'm getting those waves. And those waves, you can see how it looks. Let me show you on the side. It creates kind of a wavy look rather than the fabric just being a straight edge. It creates some movement, this nice diagonal look and curves at the same time. And you get that same thing in the back. I love how that. Yeah, good idea, Lois. Lois says at her age, and everyone knows Lois is our champion here. She is always working and trying something. She is an amazing quilter. She keeps going. And so she says she wants to try something new. She wants to continually challenge herself. I love that. It looks like a wreath at the bottom. Yeah, Copper. Not get addicted to making them. Oh man, that's hard not to do. I'm hooked already. Okay. And have supplies in my Amazon cart. Fantastic. Yes, ladies, did you hear that? Tasha has given in. Yes. Victory, victory, victory. Another basket maker. Victory, victory, victory. Another basket maker. I can't wait to see what you make, Tasha. It's going to be so much fun. And when you get started and you make a basket, send me a photo. I will share it and let people see what you're doing. All right? Please do that. I'm having so much fun talking about baskets. Being a little bit silly. I'm making you laugh, Tasha. Hey, Sabrina, I am talking about baskets, about how to make baskets, and eventually I will hold a class. All right, raise your hand if I gave a class on basic basket making. And this would be a course, a class. All right, I'm giving you all these tips here for you to get started on your own. But if you want me to hold your hand, would you be interested? Let me know. All right, I think I've covered everything except the thread. What thread do I use? I use a variety of threads, but mostly cotton threads. I like cotton threads because I really wanted to grab a hold of the cotton in the rope. So I like connecting threads. So Sally raises her hand. Yes, she would be willing to take a class. Sheila says yes. Tasha says yes. Okay, awesome. I don't have a class up yet, but maybe we can just put something together and do an informal thing and see how it works. Okay, I will put that on my calendar. All right, you ladies, start getting your supplies. Maybe I'll make a supply list and put it as a link someplace, and then let you ladies know when it's ready. Okay, I think we've covered everything. Any questions? Any questions about making baskets with ropes? Let me know. Those of you watching on Amazon, are you inspired? Have you seen what we've been talking about? This was how we started. This is the biggest rope basket that I've made using clothesline. And it's on sale now, ladies. This is on sale. It's on sale 21% off on the 200 feet and then 9% off on the 100 feet. And that is the clothesline. Okay. Oh, oh, oh. This is the biggest one that I've ever made. Woohoo! This was the first one we talked about, but we've looked at a lot of baskets tonight. Any questions, ladies? Any questions? All right. If not, I think we're done for tonight. Sheila says, yay for a class. Did you miss how to get the baskets not to be floppy? I'm going to save that for the class. I'm going to save that tip, that valuable tip for the class. All right. Sally says, can you put a link to the Kraft-tex paper? So yes, I can put a link. I will work on that. I thought I put that in. But you can also go to, Copper put a link in the YouTube. Where are you, Sally? You on Facebook or YouTube? Sally, you're on YouTube. So Copper put a link to the Amazon site. You can find it there, or you can come on over to Amazon. The Kraft-tex is right here in the carousel over here on Amazon. The 100 needle and the G needle, both could work. Either one, I would say test it and see. Remember, ladies, everything I always test. So if you have a G needle already, yes, Sally, go there. You go to my Amazon shop and you'll see a list that says baskets, rope baskets. I have a special list for rope baskets. It includes this. It includes the Bonnie's craft cord, the needles. It includes all of the supplies, the Kraft-tex as well. All of that is already listed in the Amazon shop. My sister said with that large basket, you could put a baby in it. Yes, you can. If you wanted to. Someone was asking, what do you put in that big basket? And I said, anything you want. You know, my sister Penny, I was just thinking when you said that, you know what image came to mind? That image of the basket going down the Nile with little baby Moses in it, going down the river Nile. What do you think? It's big enough for that, right? Kelly says, you got the rope. All right. Kelly on Amazon says that she got the rope. Awesome. Yes, Moses. Yes. Yes, inspired. Oh, you ladies are funny. I'm having a good time. Okay. Are we done? Any other questions? Any other questions I can answer? Those watching live on Amazon, Facebook, YouTube. I'm here to answer your questions about rope baskets. Rope baskets. Do you know what thread that you need? Cotton thread. And this is when I love variegated thread. Variegated thread on rope baskets just changes it. It just makes a difference. Let me show you just one more time. Let me see if I can get a good example. Okay, maybe I'll use these two as an example. And for Shari, who was asking, what's the learning curve? There's no learning curve with different types of thread because you're just changing out that top thread, right? You know that the top thread, look at this, the bobbin thread is a matching cream color thread. Matching cream color thread. But the top thread is variegated thread. And look at the texture, the dimension using that variegated thread gives this clothesline. Here, plain Jane. Plain Jane. Variegated thread. What a difference. Oh, thank you. You like the background. Thank you. I said, Jace, I guess that's your name. Jace, thank you for popping in and saying hello. Don't forget to follow those who are watching on Amazon. Follow me, and we talk a lot about different craft and quilting ideas. Today, it's about basket making on our home machine. So here, this is just white thread. White thread. It blends in with the rope, but you see it against the dark portions of the fabric. In the center, the thread blends in with the rope. Look what happens when we add a brown variegated thread. It just makes a difference. Plain Jane, variegated thread. And the variegated threads that I like are King Tut. I showed that to you last week. If you were here for the first part of the rope basket making, you remember that. If not, go back and watch the replay. Whether you're on YouTube or Amazon, you can see the different variegated threads that I used. And I showed you in a nice array, I think 4 different ones. Anyone on Amazon, if you want me to highlight that or find it for you, I can add it to the carousel. Matter of fact, I think I'll do that for you now. And you can also go to my Amazon shop and click on thread, free motion thread, and I have the variegated thread in there as well. So let me find that thread for you, and I will highlight it. Here it is. Superior Threads also has a variegated thread, but you can also get King Tut, and I really like variegated thread. All right, I think I'm missing out something on the chat. Did I see that? What's the best weight to use for the baskets? I've been using 50 weight and 40 weight. You can use a heavier weight too, like you can go, I don't think I've used 30. Maybe I have. I'm trying to think. Mostly it's been 50 and 40 weight. That's a good question, Wilda. Who else asked the question? You're welcome, Marsha. Did Terry show up? Did I see that? Yes, Terry. Okay. Oh, you're welcome, Terry. I think I missed you when you arrived. I'm glad you were able to catch the tail end. We're just about done. I'm going to add the other thread. I'm trying to find it. Let's see. Let me just put in King Tut. All right. And King Tut comes in a variety of colors in the variegation. It's so pretty. And here's a nice one that I'll add to the carousel. It's 24% for those of you off for those that are on Amazon now. I just added it to the carousel and it's 24% off. Love King Tut. All right. Let me go back to host view. All right. I think that's it. Are we done? Any more questions? Did I miss questions? I got the thread weight. All right. Oh, Penny, you said yes to the Moses. My mom had big baskets like that, and she put her babies in them. Okay, Cassie, wonderful. Great minds think alike, says Pamela. Awesome. Yes. You are welcome, Sally. You are welcome. Okay. Oh, Terry says she was quietly watching. Oh, thank you, Terry. I'm glad you like the baskets. You will watch last week's show. Yes, that I gave a lot of the tips with how to start, the needles, and the different things like that. So watch the first one. Whether you're on YouTube or Amazon, you can watch the first one. When you go to my Amazon channel, amazon.com/live/livingwaterquilter, you'll see all my replays and just look for rope, DIY rope baskets. Oh, Tasha, you look forward to it. How many feet for the Moses basket? I think I used 2 of these. You can use one if you don't add the Rattail cord. If you're going to incorporate the Rattail cord, this black cord that I used with it, you're going to need 2 of these for the big basket, because this was added ahead of time before it became a basket. Remember, watch video number 1 to show you how to add these to 2 pieces of cord. Okay? My sister says a fun night. You're welcome, Sally. What does Tasha say? Did I miss that? Yeah, you look forward to it. Yes, it is a great group of ladies. All right, we're done. Yay. If you're watching on Amazon, thank you. Don't forget to hit the follow button. Ladies on YouTube, hit the thumbs up. And don't forget, you can share this with others. Don't keep it a secret. Let others know about Quilt Conversations Live here on Amazon, on YouTube, on Facebook. I love sharing tips and techniques for sewing and quilting and for basket making. And I'm going to work on that class. You ladies said yes, you're willing to come to a class and get additional help with making your first basket or your second, depending upon if you've done it already. I am so glad. Good night, Cassie. Good night, Copper. Good night, Terry. So glad you ladies were here. Hit that follow button if you're on Amazon. We are going to have fun talking about quilting and sewing and crafting techniques. Join us. I'm here every Wednesday and every Friday at 7 p.m. And then sometimes I just show up on Amazon Live just because I want to talk about sewing and crafting. The past couple of days, I've been talking about craft books, different things that you can add to your library that I feel are essential tools. So I've been doing that the last few days just on Amazon. And once you follow and I schedule a live, you'll get a notification. And so if you're available, you can come and join me live and we can have a conversation. That's why I'm here. I want to be live so that I can have a conversation. Replays are great, but it's fun when we can chat. Awesome. Yes, you need to check me out, Sabrina. Come on over. Come on over. If you go to my Amazon shop, you scroll down to the bottom and you can see all the replays. But if you want to come directly to my Amazon Live channel, I'll have to send this to you, Copper, on YouTube. It's amazon.com /live/living water quilter. Amazon.com/live/living water quilter. And you can come on Wednesdays and on Fridays. You put that in and you'll come straight to my Amazon channel. And when you're here, you're going to see that whole carousel. Every time I say I'm highlighting in the carousel what I'm talking about, you will see the cotton rope. You will see the threads. You will see all the different things that I'm talking about so that you can either put it on your wish list, put it in your shopping cart. You can take advantage of the live only discounts. Sometimes Amazon, when I am live, will give live viewers a special discount. I forgot to tell you, ladies, that on Facebook and on YouTube, live only discounts happen when you come to Amazon when I'm here. Live only, not when it's a replay. FYI on that, okay? All right, done. I keep saying we're done and I'm still here. All right, this is for real. I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful and safe weekend. See you next time, ladies.